Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Nextlander podcast. Here we go. May time. I'm out of. We record a lot of stuff, and it's been May at the top of the week, so I'm kind of out of May stuff.
We got to workshop some non-month content. Some non-month related material around here.
Boy, sure is warm. It's warm. It's heating
Hot
up.
enough for you?
Hot enough for these games coming out.
Wet enough for you? I'm damp.
I soiled myself.
How's it hanging?
It's a little too
drippy.
Working hard or hardly working?
Pretty hard.
Anybody buy eBay today?
I'm working on a deal.
Okay, good. Hey,
I've got some people involved. We're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be a lot of debt, but no big deal.
I don't know. I don't understand much about anything, and we're not going to cover it in the news.
I don't think they do either.
I saw there was a quick thing I saw that said GameStop putting in an offer, whether serious or not, to acquire eBay, and I don't understand.
Not serious.
A lot of the world.
Well,
but
let me just stop you there.
Okay.
Not serious.
Not so serious. Not so serious.
It's serious in the sense that someone is making those overtures. Not serious in the sense that I don't think that shit's gonna happen.
Did they get capital from that whole meme push?
It is serious in the sense that the farcical fake financialization of everything in society is just the way we do things now.
Okay.
But ...
Yeah.
Think about the marketplace for those Funko Pops, okay? Think about the consolidation of Funko Pop vending if eBay were just owned by GameStop.
Why don't we go public and then get our stock fraudulently pumped up?
Okay.
And then,
Let's saddle Nextlander up with debt so we can cash out. Fuck it.
I'm joking, but I actually do wonder. I mean, I'm sure there's a bajillion requirements for going public. I wonder what those are.
If I thought you were going to say laws, and I was going to say nobody cares anymore, Brad. I'm sure there are plenty of laws that say you can't just announce you're going public to pump your stock up and then dump your stock down. If you were going to do that, let's just make a meme coin and let's just be done with it. They have other mechanisms that are probably less work.
We could do that anytime we want.
Yeah, that's probably just easier. That's probably. Anyway,
hang on.
Yes,
the SEC straight up has a page that says "Ready to go public."
Ready to go public. I'm ready to go.
I don't know if I am though.
I'm ready to go public. I mean, look, we just got to make sure we get in there. Then the people, they pump it up, and then the evaluation goes up, and then we wink and say, I'm not going to say a date when this will all happen, but boy, howdy, do I really love June 20th.
Sure.
That's such a cool day. It's such
a
cool. I don't know. Yes, it is. It's one of the best days.
Please don't buy Nextlander. It's not going to go great for you.
Yeah, go buy it. I dare. I dare you.
I don't think you can pump us up the same way you might pump up an eBay or a GameStop or any of these other corporations that are falling to various weirdos that have decided to take over commerce.
Look for NXL on the stock ticker, and
is that already a stock? That has to be a stock ticker somewhere, right? So NXL must belong to someone.
Nah, that's too cool. No way.
Yep. Nextlander technology.
What the fuck, man?
What do they make?
Ruined all my plans.
It sounds pharmaceutical, but I don't know.
That's our parent company. now people know.
It does kind of sound like one of those companies they were selling in Boiler Room.
or something from some bad Arnold Schwarzenegger future movie, right?
Nailed it. Nextlander technology, the leader in neurohealth.
Wow. Nextlander?
Yep.
Wow.
Through our patented frequency-related advanced waveform that interacts with the deep centers of the midbrain.
Wow. What are they trading at, Brad?
Is this real? Are they selling a real product?
What are they?
Is this like woo-woo homeopath bullshit, or is this like actual medical science?
Current share price, 35 cents.
Okay. All right. Look, maybe now. Welcome to our new opening segment here, like what to buy, what not to.
Financial planning with the Nextlander boys. What do you want to invest in today?
Things that sound like fake Wayland Utani companies go all in. Well, we've got some video games to talk about because I don't know if you remember, April had a lot of releases. And that means that we are now wading through the releases and finishing up some stuff. I say let's kick it off before we get into some of the newer things. Let's kick it off. Brad, you finished up Pragmata.
Yeah, I finally got around to... I probably should have just
Locking
put
it
that
down.
one to bed, but then Saros came out, and then Forbidden Solitaire came out, and as you said, a lot of games this month.
There were a lot of games, and we just did our Planorama. There continue to be more games. So let's just say out of the gate here, we're probably going to have some Pragmata spoilers since we're finished with it now. Alex, you don't care. You're good.
I'm fine.
So we'll
Can't
talk.
spoil me.
We'll talk about whatever story spoilers we want and nonsense here. There's your warning. If you've skipped ahead past our financial briefing, then now you're hitting our spoiler warning. Brad Shoemaker, what did you think of your overall top level view Pragmata?
That's good. I think the first half of the game is probably stronger than the second half. I was kind of not loving some of the combat design in the last level.
What was getting on you?
Like very tight spaces in a lot of cases. In some cases, it was fun to try to manage that stuff. In other cases, it was just too tight. Like you have to start charging that blast move she does to purge the corruption from them, and you just don't have a lot of room to maneuver in there.
Did you wind up doing any of the challenge stuff, or mostly just
post-game?
Yeah, or even the challenges?
I did probably 2/3 of the regular challenges.
Challenges,
currency as desired. I don't know. At one point, I thought I was like, man, maybe I should platinum this game. I feel like the closer I got to the end of it, the less that felt appealing.
Do you think
and there's all these other games out that I want to play or continue playing, so I don't know when I'll go back to it.
Do you think you would platinum it if it didn't have a full new playthrough on
Probably not.
most difficult?
Probably not, because the post-game stuff they unlock seems like a lot.
It's not so bad.
Well, I don't know. I did the first challenge. I mean, it was not that long, but you have to go get you have to go beat a bunch of alternate bosses to unlock some of those challenges.
Yes. They're they're not so bad.
To explain what I'm talking about, there's a whole it's weird. It's post-game in the sense that this only unlocks after you beat the game, but you still have to load a post-game save to access it.
It is like its own in-between save, yeah.
Because, spoiler, they kill Hugh in the ending.
Yeah. Was it called the Lost Signal? Is the
Hidden Signal, I think is what it's called.
All right.
There's basically a whole separate base that unlocks after you beat after you beat the game, but you have to load a save from before you beat the game.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we detect a hidden signal. What is this place?
Yeah. So it loads you in like before the last boss fight. Yeah.
And you go there and there is a big version of Cabin.
Giant.
And the fact that they named that character Big Cabin is the funniest thing in that game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think he's the original Cabin.
And it's
Big Boy.
Maybe. And it's the same voice actor, but kind of just pitching his voice down a little bit. It's very good.
And he's got little VR pods that open based on what you've done in the game.
It's just a bunch of even more in-depth challenges than the ones you had access to before, and they start unlocking new weapons that you couldn't get in the main game. The pacing is weird at the end of that game.
Yeah.
So anyway, to answer the question of would I have platinum it if not for the requirement to beat the entire thing on hard again after that, probably not, because they also want you to do all of that stuff as well. Like
I enjoyed that part.
Getting the platinum in that game wants you to do literally everything there is to do in that game, and that's kind of a lot.
So I think the platinum in that game, aside from that beat it on, what is it, Lunatic? would do it, because I think the challenges from the original Cabin room, like I said, I think I mentioned this in a previous one, you don't have to get the super duper achievement on it. You just need to beat the base level achievement on it.
Yeah.
And I found the challenges from the post game stuff to be a little lighter. Most of them aren't timed, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean the one I played through was fine. It took 10 minutes or something like that, but it's, I already 100%ed every level, went back and got all the collectibles. Like, do I want to go beat all the bosses again with alternate modes? Not really, just unlock even more challenges. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's I would say if you're kind of done with it, it's more you're not gonna wind up experiencing anything too new. Though you do get a little bit of fun with the new weapon, that basically the melee weapon, but
It's weird, though, because it just feels like something that they made and then discarded for the main game, but then they were like, oh, let's just keep it in there as an alternate thing at the end anyway, because it is just a melee weapon that works without hacking.
Yeah.
Which kind of subverts the whole point of the combat design.
And then there's another weapon you can get if you beat that open room, which I didn't wind up using that much because I didn't. When you do the new playthrough, you don't do if you're going to do it on Lunatic, you don't do a new game plus, which means you don't bring a lot of those things in with you. You bring some stuff in with you though, so you can bring some things.
I do not see a Lunatic playthrough in my future.
I've heard it's hard. I started a little bit of it, and I was like, I think I'm done. But
apparently there's more ending after you beat all the challenges, though, which I don't know if I'll just go YouTube that or not.
You are not missing much.
Yeah,
is what I'll say.
I like the ending of that game in concept, like the way on paper, the way it's written is better than I was expecting. Like, just okay, more spoilers here. Hugh gets infected with dead filaments toward the end of the game, which he hides from Diana.
Which is basically a death sentence.
And I'm kind of assuming, I just assumed the entire game, they really like hang that over the story for a while. And I was just like, this seems like the kind of game where they are going to magically find a way to cure him at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, he does in fact sacrifice himself to get her out of there and dies.
Yep.
In the process. Barring whatever is in this extra ending, which I've read, does the typical sequel bait thing of kind of wringing its hands, apparently, about whether he's actually dead or not.
Do you want to just hear what it is? It's very short.
I might still go try to get through that stuff.
It does the thing you probably suspect it does.
Yes, it's exactly like I said. Exactly the hedging on our definitive emotional ending that I would expect from most video games.
But it is extremely light. It is extremely, maybe I think it's one line at the end, post-credits thing. You'd get some other artwork, though, during the credits. But, yeah, Diana winds up making it to a beach on Earth, we assume.
Yeah.
And now she's this robot AI thing running around Earth.
An unsupervised child that no one will have any issue running around.
Yeah, I don't know, but I found like the final kind of confrontation with 8.
Yeah.
And the sequence of him putting her on the shuttle and getting her out of there, like, I don't know, there was just like not quite as much meat there as I was expecting, I guess I would say.
What did you think of I thought the last boss battle was okay, but then the kind of monster battle after that, the one with the laser,
that was
one
was not really.
This could have just been a cinematic. I don't think we need to
not
do
really necessary.
Part. Yeah,
that also felt maybe a little out of place, but it was mainly like kind of the interaction, putting her on the shuttle. There's just kind of not as much back and forth there as I would have thought, I guess. Or she doesn't get much to do there, I guess.
No,
I'm saying, like, she kind of like yells.
Goodbye.
She just kind of like yells through the glass no a little bit.
Yeah, as
he sends her off, and that's kind of it. I don't know. It was touching enough, you know. Like, again, I think on paper it's like I'm impressed they committed to killing him all. Well, or did they?
We'll see.
But
maybe in Pragmata 2.
But again, I expected just full on like, she's gonna get another upgrade and she can cure him and they'll be happy.
Sure.
And they did not go that route. But yes, it sounds like maybe another game will happen based on the way some Capcom executives are talking.
Or at least
they have a new franchise, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, they are. Where was this? This was at
this was the Capcom US
okay, this was the Icon event, which I had not heard of before.
Rob Dyer.
What is it? The Icon the get out of my face pop-up Interactive Innovation Conference, which is, I guess, yet another kind of game industry trade event in Vegas that just happened last week. Anyway, yes, Capcom's Rob Dyer basically referred to Pragmata as a new IP, like, we've got another IP now, basically talking about being able to franchise their games. So they're using the magic words, IP.
Yeah.
As if to suggest, this game's selling well, I could totally see them doing something else with it.
It was funny in that story that he mentioned kind of getting a demo out and getting it on the Switch 2 at release to being big factors in this game gaining traction, which just interesting to see what they're looking at in terms of why a game does well. Because when I look at it, I'm like, I don't know, you made a good game. Like you just made a game that the market was I know that some of these things, and he says it in this thing too, is focus grouped quite a bit, but you just kind of made a game that the audience was ready for.
Well, I mean, they say a couple of things in there. One, it sounds like that they feel like that focus testing actually helped to make the game a lot better because like the Japan studio was willing to kind of like let Western audiences take a look at it beforehand. The demo, I think, also gave them a lot of good feedback. But I mean, the bigger thing is, as much as I would love to say, yes, you made a good game, so of course it sold well, we all know that's not how anything works. The real thing is that they had Capcom's marketing muscle behind it, and they also happened to hit at a time when there is kind of a paucity of new original IP from major publishers coming out.
Yeah.
So the game being good on top of that, I'm sure helped a lot, but like there's also some timing and like the marketing muscle behind it. Yeah.
But it's benefiting from not just the fact that they went and made something new for once, but also all this fatigue around live service games and giant 100-hour open world copy paste type game design. Like it is just a linear 12 to 15 hour game with like a lot of, I hate to use the phrase value for money, but it certainly is there. I mean, again, you know, like they keep unlocking new stuff to do even after you beat the game. Like and it's $60. Like it's below full price. Like it is just like coherent and linear and knows what it's trying to do. It's giving you a lot for the price.
It's got a novel hook,
like,
you know?
Yeah, it's got interesting, unique mechanics. Like it's just kind of what video games used to be.
Right.
And I'm not surprised that people responded well to that.
And I think, well, maybe this is my perspective here, being on this side of the desk, but it would seem like it was getting good buzz when you came back from what's a Summer Game Fest.
I mean, they showed very little of it there. But like it was, and like no story stuff, or basically no story. It was all just like some short gameplay.
But it seemed like the reception was at the most lenient, I'll say, was curious, right? Like, hey, this thing could be cool. And I think, Brad, you were like, this was one to keep on the radar. So I think that's a positive buzz. So good on them. I think that's a great game. I think it's just a very solid game. I
enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot. I even thought like the why is there a robot that looks like a little girl? Like the second you see that, like I was like, okay, there's going to be an eccentric scientist who made his daughter into a robot for some tragic reason.
So that was the thing you
that was the thing I pegged basically the time as soon as I sat down to play the game. All that said, like most else in the game, I feel like it's just slightly better than I expected for what it is, because they came up with a novel idea, which is that they have apparently perfected this type of android so well that they can make androids out of people and then run clinical medical trials on them.
It's close enough as an analog.
Like yes, like she exists as a simulation to do clinical trials to try to cure this guy's actual daughter of whatever terminal disease she has. Like the idea of simulated medical trials on simulated humans is like an interesting little sci-fi twist on that idea.
And then they kind of commit to the bit and they kill off the company kills off the daughter by running the trial too early on the actual daughter.
Yeah,
which is like messed up, and that's what sends everything into overdrive and the whole eights taking over.
Like basically the scientist's like dying lament is misinterpreted by the other fake robot daughter.
Yeah.
And she basically decides to end humanity.
Yeah, they must feel the pain, right? They
must understand his pain.
I must understand his pain.
And if I just distribute all of this terrible, corrupting goo all over the earth that'll eradicate humanity, then they'll understand his suffering too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it quite a bit. I thought I kind of had a hard time putting a coherent build together toward the end of the game. Like all the different like mines and boost nodes and different hacking modes and stuff.
What was your go-to weapon?
I honestly was using kind of early game weapons the whole time, like the shotgun, the charge rifle, the stasis nets.
Yeah, those are winners.
The grenade launcher, basically all of the earliest weapons. I just kept upgrading and kind of liked them more than most of the alternates.
I wound up upgrading the charge beam quite a bit.
Yeah, that was one of my two.
That was a good one.
Standbys.
Trying to think.
I maxed all the abilities before I dumped stuff into weapons.
I liked it. I liked the loop. I think for me, probably the story was the most mediocre in terms of like you said, it is pretty predictable by the end there, and I wasn't sure exactly how they were going to resolve it but about 60% of the way there, 60 to 70% of the way there, I kind of had the feeling that like Hugh's not going home. Like Hugh is not getting on that ship. And every time they do, they're like, you got to go to the beach. You're going to love the beach. You'll be like, you're just not getting on this ship. Whatever's going to happen here. But I thought they, for what they're going for, I think they stick their landing. And I will be curious to see what they do as a canonical ending, if they do a Pragmata 2, or if they continue it from these characters or just move on. Also, I don't know how she's going to charge her battery.
Yes, I did consider that.
That's
just get her some charge shoes to wear.
She can't wear shoes. She's got to charge.
Strap batteries to her feet.
Yeah.
She'll be fine. Yeah, if they make a Pragmata 2, it should not
Battery
just,
insoles.
if they make a Pragmata 2, it should not just be Hugh and Diana. But,
yeah.
Like Diana, I feel like does need to probably be in that story somewhere,
yes.
but I think you can do something else.
Yes, I don't think they should bring him back necessarily. Or maybe it's a totally different thing. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe she got rampant. Is that what happened to Cortana? To the rampant AI? Yeah. She goes. Hugh needs to go find her, or Hugh's ghost needs to go find her.
She meets a wild-haired scientist named Dr. Wiley.
Okay.
He starts getting some bad ideas.
Okay.
And then Mega Man happens.
Oh, well, yeah. So, okay, I see what happens. Maybe we can build these robots to help out with Earth. And then, okay, Diana's like, yeah, this is a great idea. But then something bad happens.
Wait, hang on. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say this. Like, is Diana just Call?
Kind of. Like a blonde girl robot? Yes.
Or hang on, is Call's not even Mega Man, right? That's...
No, I think so.
Is it? I thought it's roll. Is it not roll?
Is it Mighty
there's
Number 9?
Roll. Yeah, Roll. I think
Roll is who I was thinking. Call is
also
from Mighty Number 9, I believe.
Okay.
Roll, I was thinking maybe Roll is who I was thinking of.
But then there's what's the dog's name? Is it Beat, or is Beat the bird?
Beat is not the dog. The dog is why am I forgetting all of this all of a sudden?
Rock and Roll and Beat and Bebop.
The dog doesn't come around until 3 though, right?
I don't remember.
Well, the dog is Rush, right?
Rush?
Yeah, Rush.
Okay, well that's...
Oh no, that's 2. 2 is where Rush comes in.
No. Is it? I feel like I should remember this. I thought he was new in 3.
Okay,
I remember him he turns into the hoverboard.
So the thing is, you start getting the special power-ups that are like the ones you get in 3 from Rush in 2. It's just that they are special weapons that have no dog attached to them.
Yeah, Rush debuted in 3 is what I'm reading here.
Anyway, yes. This is clearly in the Mega Man universe, and I will accept no substitute.
I mean, people were thinking that originally when they announced this thing.
It was a wild fan theory because Mega Man fans are desperate.
Yes.
I will say, since we're still under the spoiler tags, no Mega Cannon or Mega Buster. I thought they would do something. I thought it's
like an unlockable end of game weapon or something.
Maybe it's a post game goof, sure, but I'm glad this game has its own identity
for sure.
I agree with that.
But I thought they'd at least do some kind of like blue bomber outfit or some kind of.
Well, there's the thing on Cabin's face. I assume you saw at some point, right?
On a mini cabin or on
on the cabin in your base. There's a full on Mega Man sprite.
Oh, is there?
But redrawn to look like Hugh, basically.
Oh.
But it is the Mega Man sprite, but with the trappings of the Hugh suit.
Huh.
It's like a
sound
sticker.
Effect. Yeah,
like
I did that. I'm surprised that didn't go around more after this game came out. Because yes, if you just hang out in the base, like I took a little video on the PS5 of it.
Okay.
Like if you just hang out long enough, you will see a Mega Man and hear it. That's what made me go whoa. As I heard the sounds of Mega Man running and jumping and shooting off to my side, and then I was like, oh man, there's full-on Hugh as Mega Man on Cabin's face, just running around.
I was trying to figure out if the little Cabin figurines were Capcom references to anything. I don't know if they are.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't show them off that well. Like you can't look at them up close.
There really should be a model viewer there.
Yeah, for real.
But
anyway,
I like the game quite a bit.
Yeah, solid run at it. And also, it seems like the market can bear some of that 360 throwback. Like you said, Brad, a fairly linear, tight game experience that doesn't have a ton of online hooks and is pretty much self-contained in and out. So that seems to be where Capcom has been championing. They obviously make their Street Fighters and they make their Monster Hunters, but they're Resident Evil and now their new IP, Pragmata.
Cool game.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Hugh. We love you.
We'll never see you again.
My favorite uncle.
Guaranteed.
My favorite Uncle Hugh. All right, let's take a quick break here. There are plenty of other games to jump into, but we'll do that after this break, so stick around. This week's show is brought to you by Factor. Alex Navarro, Brad Shoemaker. When I'm opening up the fridge, there are a lot of choices I could be making.
Mm-hmm. And do you make good choices?
No. Very rarely do I make good choices, both in the fridge, in general. You just basically apply that to anything. I'm a man who needs a lot of support systems, and Factor is here to support me, because if I open that fridge and I see a little Factor meal in there and it's all ready to go, and all I have to do is put it in a microwave or just heat it up for a couple of minutes, I know that I'm going to be supported in my goal, which is not eating like a monster. Which is really
it's a good goal to have.
Not being a monster, basic life goal. You guys know Factor. We've talked about Factor here a bunch. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether they be not being a monster or whether they be more protein or GLP-1 support. They even have stuff for strength and workout recovery. They have a whole thing called Muscle Pro in their Big Muscle Pro collection, which I assume is named after me, but I'm not here to, make assumptions. Every meal is crafted with functional ingredients, lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole foods, and healthy fats. And Factor bans over 175 ingredients. They have no artificial colors or sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, no refined seed oils, just nutrients-dense food. All right, you know this part. Factor. Fresh, never frozen, with over 100 rotating meals every week, including globally inspired flavors like Mediterranean and Asian, so there's always something new to look forward to. And like we said, it's ready in 2 minutes. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for everything you love to do. How do you get in on this? Well, you can go to factormeals.com/Nextlander50off. That's factormeals.com/Nextlander50off and use code Nextlander50off. That's the word Nextlander, the number 50, and then OFF. You get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See the website for more detail. Thanks, Factor. All right, we are back, and like I said, we still got some new stuff that just released very recently. Forbidden Solitaire came out on the 30th.
Yep.
A game that we were all kind of excited to play. I think the demo was like this year, last year?
It was a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the last Next Fest, I believe.
And so Forbidden Solitaire sets itself up as it's from the makers of Hotline.
Home Safety Hotline.
Home Safety Hotline. So it's got similar vibes in that you're on a fake computer. You have a game that has long been delisted or out of print or hard to find. You're getting messages from, I think, your sister, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes,
then,
you are Will Roberta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of references.
References to 80s and 90s game designers all over the place in this.
Yeah. And then like, oh my gosh, you found this game, whatever. Oh my gosh. And then as you're playing the game, we'll get to in a second, but as you're playing the actual game, you continue to get messages that are like, hey man, I don't know if you saw this news story that was from the time period.
Yeah, like the game is like Lost. It's basically lost media.
They can't. You
find it at a thrift store, basically. Yeah, like it's kind of nowhere. It's not on the internet. You basically find what might be the last copy in existence, and then a series of increasingly distressed IMs come in about like, hey, like Parents Group's got this thing destroyed. I can't believe you have a copy of that. Hey, I found this police report about one of the developers dying by having her eyes gouged out with daggers at the game development studio.
Ritual Dow. Hey, there's other people gouged their eyes out.
Hey, here's a clip of a child with the same injuries who was found dead at his computer after playing this game.
So did you get the unsolved mysteries, or that was a pretty good one.
That's the last major FMV that I saw.
That was a very good one. So yeah, so that's all happening while you're playing the game. You get these windows that pop up, and you're like, check this thing out. The game is mostly it's solitaire-esque.
Well,
is
you
that
know
a
what
real?
it is, right?
Please.
This is the mechanics of the other gray alien games, solitaire games like Regency Solitaire and Shadowhand and that stuff. Like the card mechanics in this are if not directly the same, are at least very heavily borrowed from those games.
Oh, I didn't know who Gray Alien Games was. Okay,
Yes.
I thought they're not the home safety hotline people.
No, the what is it? The Night something or other studio.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes,
Night Signal.
There are two company logos at the top of this thing.
So this
the
is
Night
more
Signal
like the
logo
Regency?
is
Yeah, this is taking the same gameplay designs that have been applied in the Ancient Enemy and the other like games that Gray Alien has made, and then putting that within the framework of this Lost Media FMV experience.
Shadowhand Solitaire.
Yes. And all those games are good. Like, Vinny, you certainly remember me playing Regency Solitaire.
Yeah.
That's a fun, quick look we did back in the day. And the ones they've made since then have all been, like, reasonably good. So
I thought in those, though, and this is just me misremembering that, I thought the suits mattered as you're taking and putting cards. Because the suits, really, in this one, aside from the core mechanic, is you just need to go higher or lower with the card. You don't need to match suits.
So you didn't have to match suits in those games, or at least some of them. It was mostly numbered, but there are challenges that are around like, hey, you have to hit a certain number of diamonds before you can unlock this or something like that.
That's in this too.
Yeah. The mechanics kind of escalate. The fun thing in this game is it has the vibe of a late 80s, early 90s CD-ROM game.
Yes.
Pre-rendered with, really bad early 3D stuff and, kind of
I would describe it as seventh guest coded
in the neighborhood
in terms of the quality of the CG and also the like compression, the dithering artifacts and stuff like that. It's like they say this game came out in 1995 for what it's worth.
I think they could have done better in 95.
It is very like missed seventh guest era of like aesthetic quality.
But I think tonally, do you remember that game, The Immortal? Or Immortal.
No.
It was like a Genesis game where you're like a wizard.
Oh, vaguely.
And it's got, animated death scene. You get eaten by a worm and like you melt and all this nonsense. I'd say tonally it reminds me of that, but it's also very Satanic Panic, right? Like it's
100%.
Yeah, it's got that vibe of
it's Tipper Gore shit. Like it is that era of Mortal Kombat and Night Trap being shunted in front of Congress, like that sort of like moral panic shit. Like there's like protest footage in there of like parents groups and stuff. Like they are really leaning on that stuff.
But nothing.
I'm finding this. I kind of have always known this, but I don't know. It's just getting more acute as I get older, I guess. Like this aesthetic is incredibly potent for me.
Yes, me too.
Like just seeing imagery with this type of compression on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like those kinds of like dithering patterns and this color palette and stuff like that. Just like real strong aesthetic memories of that time.
For me, it is very much, it's the aesthetics, but it's also the way that every zoom has a certain frame rate and the way you watch like the environment sort of like spread out.
Yeah,
like all that camera work and like environmental work is like pretty spot on.
Yeah, the frame rate on the video is a huge part of that. Like they've nailed the feel of that stuff pretty well. I mean, it's definitely higher quality than what you would have seen back then. But
certainly,
but Phil, what's the word I'm looking for here? Sort of perceptually, it's what things looked like back then, even though technically it's better.
They're bad orbiting cameras and they're fisheye lenses sometimes, and the parts where the scene starts and the camera's not moving yet, and then it'll start moving. All that stuff is cool. The way they incorporate the solitaire is when you encounter any kind of friction in your game, whether it's a locked door, a monster, I don't know, a thought, whatever, you wind up in this solitaire-esque hand where the field will have a bunch of cards on it. And you need to solitaire your way to either uncover an item or to defeat an enemy by building up a combo which does damage. So you basically, by playing solitaire, by taking cards off the field that are either higher or lower than the card you have showing in your hand, you're building up a combo when you're fighting an enemy, and then you deal that damage when you end your turn. And that's basically how you fight an enemy. Did you guys die at all? I died once.
I died once.
It's tough, man. It took me like 5 tries to beat that like Bloodstorm monster.
Oh, the one that chases you to the gate?
I really enjoy the running gag of you're just fighting the same monster over and over. Every time you kill it, it comes back again 5 minutes later, except it's more fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you kill it for the 5th time, and it still starts to reassemble itself right in front of you.
It's pretty good.
But that last time you fight it, where it's got, because there's like a fair amount of variety from fight to fight. Like, there's guard mechanics, there's single-use cards that you can pick up, there's mana, like, to cast spells with, there's like an undo.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of variety there, but one of those is guard, and that one has 2 guard every turn. Like every time you attack it, it's going to block 2 damage every time.
Yeah, it's got like a shield. Yeah.
You have to get at least 3 damage per turn to do any damage at all. And in a lot of cases, it's hard to get more than 1 or 2. And anyway, I just kept having bad run after bad run on that thing until I finally got one that I could beat it.
So I guess what I was going to ask, in the dying, it does seem to just, for me at least, reload back
to where
you
the fight
were.
over. It's
but
not.
Did the card seem random to you when you reloaded?
As far as I could tell.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't tell. I couldn't quite tell if when I died.
I mean, they are absolutely different from turn, not turn, but from attempt to attempt.
It was okay.
Absolutely, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, if that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Now, if they are like subtly biasing the card selection, the more you lose to make it easier, I can't say.
Okay, but what's on the field was different.
It is absolutely different every time.
The one I died on, I didn't even realize this ended your turn. I died on one of the ones with the maggots where you take damage. And
did that one.
And I didn't realize it in a non-battle one, if you exhaust your deck, you're done. Like it just ends your life. Because in the battles it does not. It just reshuffles the deck and you keep going until you run out of health. But in the non-battle ones, you just die. So I just was clicking along and then just was like, oh shit, that I'm dead. I think it's fun. I think the mechanic works well. I think the mechanic would be a little light for me without all the trappings here. I think the atmosphere is very, very cool.
I think Solitaire is pretty addictive, but you know, I for me it's less the Solitaire, and I don't know what the budget of this thing was. I kind of wish there was a little more around the Solitaire. Like two things would like really complete this for me. It's just a matter of taste. I wish there was a little more animated transition from scene to scene. It's all just still frames, you know, like you just click, it just transitions one frame to the next, and some of that is fine. But I wish there was a little more Seventh Guest style, like we actually animated, you know, we've got FMV of the zoom from, or the, you know, you walking down these corridors from one place to the next. The other thing is a little bit of like environmental interaction would be very appreciated here.
In the game.
Like if there were just an occasional, like very small, you know, like pulling levers and like finding a loose brick in the wall you have to pull out, you know, just some real basic puzzle solving to break up the Solitaire that has you kind of interacting with the environment a little more.
Yeah, I will say I don't think this game is very long. So I think that I'm guessing a lot of stuff's pretty condensed.
I bet it's not. That's why I mentioned the budget. This feels like pretty. One note is not the way I want to put it because that sounds, you know, derogatory. I don't quite mean it that way, but it is. You're just doing the one thing. You know, you're just playing Solitaire over and over. Yeah,
and for those who haven't seen it or played it, just to be clear, you have no direct control over your character or any control over once you're in that game.
It is quite literally play Solitaire, click through text boxes, play more Solitaire, repeat.
So the thing that again, maybe this escalates later. I haven't seen really any of it yet. Is the one thing that I would like to see more of where I'm at is maybe a little more of the fake OS and getting into you know,
it's just kind of there. It's just kind of the UI and that's it.
There's not too much to it, and also it's very Windows 10, so it's like modern. So it's kind of there's not really any kind of retro appeal there because it's kind of just what Windows looks like.
Yeah, and you know, like
I wish my desktop looked that
there's
clean.
there's very little you can do with it.
And like I don't know, I think what I want is a little more hidden in the margins. You know, like if you go into the settings of the game, maybe there's like a secret code in there, or if you go into like a notepad or you downloaded a thing. But it's really just kind of a trapping to get into Forbidden Solitaire with the IM window that comes up occasionally. So we'll see if anything happens there. I think the last thing I got was the interview with one of the employees. Was playing in the background while I was doing a thing, and it's just so corny. It's just so it was basically the employee being like, you know, I really just want to come here because I love games and I just think they're magical, and the guy being like, yes, magical, that's a good word for it. And she's like, Yeah, no, I think it really, I want to create like magical experience. Yes, create magic. You are very good. I was like, okay, this is very, very silly. But
they're
also,
going for a
I'm kind of
specific
into
tone.
it.
Yeah. You know who plays like the lead designer of the game is Zalavier from okay.
Solitaire and he's probably the one who's like, yes, magical. I only saw the one shot when they're shooting him through the window with the camera. Okay. Yeah, it's goofy. I like goofy. And
they're having fun with this concept. And I like that they have stretched their legs a little bit beyond kind of what the original Solitaire games they have made are. Like, those games are fun. This is a little bit different, but it is still kind of in that wheelhouse. And it's like, it's novel enough that I'm into it.
I just like this genre. I like the genre of, hey, remember these games? What if there was something really spooky about them, right? Or like, what if they were haunted? I like the haunted game genre. I think is just the.
Well, good news. They're still making more of them.
Yeah, it's cool. You couldn't do this forever, though.
No,
like you can only pull that trick so many times before you need to start subverting your own trick.
Yeah.
So in the future, I don't know what they'll do. I mean, this is pretty different from Home Safety Hotline, to be fair.
Yes.
But this is not the only game of this type that other developers have made.
Just imagine 40 years from now doing the same concept, but it's a haunted virtual game card for your Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes. See? Yeah.
Doesn't work as well, does it?
Haunted mobile app.
No, I would take it. Yes, haunted mobile app. What is the what
haunted
was the
eShop.
Game? Inscription. Is it? Yes. Would you call Inscription a haunted game?
Not really.
I want to pull that into it's like more metagame, right?
Yeah.
I want to pull that into this crowd. I like that. I like this genre of I don't know, what do you call it, like the frogs fractioning, right? You think you're getting one thing and then you get something else.
I call them metagames. Like there's usually like a game beneath a game type stuff.
Yes, I like that. I like that premise. That is Forbidden Solitaire, $15 on the PC. I think it's a winner. I'm going to try and finish that one up. I don't think it's, like Alex, like you said, I don't think it's extremely long.
I think it's 5 to 6 hours is what they've quoted.
Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Moving on here. Alex, you played some Dead as Disco.
Yes, this is an interesting one. So this is an early access as of, I think, yesterday when we were recording this. We played a demo of this 1 or 2 Steam Next Fests ago, and I remember playing it and thinking, this is an interesting concept. How much game is actually here? Because it felt kind of thin in the demo version. And now that I've seen what they have here, what I'm realizing is that, there's a story and there is like, content here, but this is also very much an avenue for people to put their own music into a thing and beat people up to it.
Okay, that was the question to ask about this.
So there's a bunch of individual stages that have their own specific music attached to them, and there's like story and boss fights and things attached to that. There is also this other custom music mode where you can upload MP3s, FLACs, whatever you have. They say really big files could cause the audio player to bug out, so maybe don't, put your 24-bit audio in there if you don't have to. But what they give you is actually a decent little tool set. The basic crux of this game is that it is a beat 'em up, but it is set to music. And the rhythm of the fighting and the combos and all of that is basically like you do better when you hit it in time with the music.
It's a 3D beat 'em up, though, right?
It's a 3D beat 'em up. You're on like a disco floor kind of environment, a bunch of different enemies. They all have their own attacks that kind of work within the BPM of whatever song is playing. Your prompts for like, counters and other things will pop up along with and if you hit them within time of the music, you do better. But this custom music mode, you just upload the song and it lets you set the BPM. And you can also calibrate it by just tapping the beats along with the song, and you can set the beginning and end points if there's like a long intro you want to get rid of or something like that. So it's actually reasonably decent tool set for making that music work in time with the action.
Does it feel fun, like when you're doing it?
Yes.
Like, yeah, okay. It does click.
The rhythm element of it is not so pronounced that you are just going to feel like you're fucking up constantly if you're not hitting directly on the beat. But when you do it perfectly, it does feel pretty satisfying. And the general flow of the combat feels pretty understandable immediately. Like, it has a little bit of the Batman kind of rhythmic movement to it, but it is its own thing. And really, it's just very snappy. There's a good variety of attacks from what I've experienced so far. And the enemy designs seem reasonably varied. And a fun thing with the custom ones is that when the song ends, the level just ends. There's no like big build up to some like, okay, the song's coming to an end, so here's a boss fight or whatever. It's just how many waves can you clear within the time of whatever song you have uploaded.
And it comes with its own soundtrack of licensed music?
Yes, and some of it's licensed too, yeah. And in fact, there's a big screen that pops up at the very beginning. It's like, do you want to never see licensed music? We can turn this off right now if you're streaming this.
Yeah, because even the trailers for it, I was afraid to stream the trailers for it because that is some licensed music.
Very much so. But the music stuff seems to work pretty well. Like, I think that really is more of a hook than I even realized. Like, there is a campaign. There's like a hub area you go back to between, going after the different levels and stuff. There's a story about, are you this resurrected being that is fighting these sort of like semi-demonic beings or whatever. I'm not sure any of it really matters that much. It just seems pretty fun.
Like a little bit of a grasshopper vibe from looking at it.
This absolutely seems like a guy who would know Travis Touchdown.
Yeah, yes, like the main character in particular kind of is very Travis Touchdown vibes.
Like if they worked at a Subway together like 20 years ago, I would believe it.
And they're all jealous of the Hi-Fi Rush guy who broke out and got his own game.
But it's worth noting this isn't early access. They are not. They're saying the 1.0 won't launch until next year. So I think they have a roadmap that's pretty clear about where they are planning on putting stuff. Not every level is in the game yet, but there's at least 4 or 5 of their like built out levels that you can, or like enemies that you can go fight. But then it seems like I said, the music uploading tools seem pretty robust right out of the gate.
That's cool. I mean, it's cool to hear that their core mechanic seems to just work.
Yeah. This game really does feel to me, at least in this early access version, like a proof of concept more than a full-on game.
Sure.
But the proof of concept is strong enough that I think what they have feels like if they can fill it out and they can make it a little bit more robust, I think they have something here.
That is Dead as Disco early access as of now. Like Alex, you just said, probably for a year. You said probably around a year. $25 to get into the early access on the PC.
$20 right now, I think, on sale.
For sale. All right. Saros.
Saros is fucking rad.
Saros.
That game rules.
I was talking to you before the show yesterday, trying to figure out exactly where you were. And you said you had made it past the second boss. You were in the third area.
Yeah, I'm in the third biome now.
And then I said, okay, I'll try to get there. And you were like, where are you now? And I said, I just beat the first boss. And you were like, oh, dude, that's you got.
Oh wait, you had beaten it at that point?
No, or maybe I was right before.
I think you said you had not beaten it.
I had not beaten it.
You were talking about trying to catch up to me in one night, and I was like, it took me a while to get through 2. That's taking on a lot.
So I took that as a challenge, and I beat the second boss.
Okay, all right.
But I was definitely not going to beat the second boss for a while, because I don't know if you remember that second area extremely well, but as you get through it, you wind up getting the shortcut that leads you almost immediately when you go back into that level to the Eclipse generator.
I think that's every. I can't say because I haven't gotten far enough in the third area yet to say for sure, but I think that's every level that once you get to the boss once, you can just shortcut to it every time.
So this wasn't even the boss. This was in the second biome. You need it's the mines.
Yeah. I mean this gets complicated. You got to the third level, so you've seen this. In the third level, you hit the Eclipse immediately.
Okay, so we should just say there might be some slight spoilers here.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to talk about the biomes. I have not got. I beat that boss, and I was just running around.
Oh, okay.
I just got the grappling hook, and then I turned it off.
Okay, once you do your first real run in the third area, you will see that you have to activate the Eclipse right off the bat.
Okay, so in the second area, you do some leveling, you do some whatever, and then it's like you have to go do these 2 objectives, right? Objective 1 and Objective 2, and they put an Eclipse generator like right in front of you. And I must have done about 6 runs where I just hit the Eclipse generator before doing any of the objectives.
Oh God, why would you do that?
I don't know. And so at some point I realized, oh my gosh, wait, you can totally go in the other gate without hitting the Eclipse generator and do one pre-Eclipse to get. The reason I bring this up is once you hit the Eclipse generator, all of the power-ups you get are corrupted, right? Like you get stuff that's trade-offs. Yeah. And so I was like, this sucks because I'm not getting I'm skipping all the power-ups. And then I wound up getting up to the boss. So I wound up doing these ridiculous runs was able to farm a lot of materials to upgrade, but I did wind up just having that amazing build. Like I got up to the boss and beat the boss on one shot.
Yeah.
I had the shotgun, which had a reload on the dash and did damage over time on it, and a bunch of other power-ups that really synergized with that. So I was able to...
The builds you can end up with in this game are extremely cool.
So for a long time there, I was like, oh, Brad is right. This is taking me forever. I'm not even close to the boss. And then I just hit one that was like, oh my God. Like I made it up to the boss without using my second life. And I was able to just kind of make it through that whole part. Still squeaked by. Still just barely made it.
And in fairness, I might have done the same thing. Have you done a run from the beginning?
No.
Did you ever do, or you never did a run? So you can go back to previous levels and run them again, and then just segue right into the next area. So you've got a whole previous biome's worth of upgrades.
Yeah.
The first time I did that was the first time I got to that boss, and I was in the exact same position of like, I'm almost dead, but I'm squeaking this out. I'm on the third phase. I think I can get it. And then a fucking delivery showed up in the middle of that, and I had to go run to the front door and came back, and I couldn't see what was going on when I unpaused it. Immediately took a ton of damage, and so I might have squeaked that one out if it hadn't been for that. But
so the second biome really made me have to finally sit and digest what are a decent amount of layers in the mechanics.
Yeah, that's what made me like the game so much, was finally engaging with like, okay, how do you actually generate power here? I need to be using my power weapon more. I need to be engaging with these mechanics,
or even
more thoughtfully.
Reading all the text that comes when you pick up a thing to be like, okay, this gun is more than just the shotgun. What attributes does it have?
Yeah, like you've got to use the alt fires. You've got to use not just the power weapon itself, but you've got to know what modifiers are on the specific power weapon you've picked up, and and make use of those and try to pick up artifacts that work with those,
or not, or skip. Like I wound up.
Yeah.
This is a part I kind of liked, and it was also a part that I realized I have to contend with, which is, I shouldn't just pick up every weapon that's a higher number, because some weapons I just don't like. Some weapons I was like, and if a weapon goes from 8 to 9 or from 10 to 11, if I don't like that weapon, I'm just going to skip it. So and the bigger point, you mentioned this to me, and I was really curious to see what it was. When you're like, did you get the second power weapon to me? And I was like, I did not yet. I love that one.
That thing, it is called the Dispiritor, which is a great name for a weapon, and it is one of my favorite weapons in a shooter in a long time.
It basically infects
it just shoots out an insane swarm of particles that are heat-seeking and just go flying all over the arena, tracking enemies, but they also generate, I think, what they call cells, which are these little fountains of particles that just spawn on the ground after it attacks an enemy.
If it kills it.
And those keep spewing more particles all over the place. The only problem with those things is it makes it really hard to see the pickups. And the pickups are timed, as we mentioned last week. Like the currency the enemies drops like slowly floats to heaven if you don't grab it in time.
Which kind of sucks.
I've missed currency pickups because I couldn't see it in the thousands of particles swarming around on the screen. But man, that weapon, especially like, again, it's modifiers on the weapon itself. It's like, oh, I've got 5 different ways to generate power now in my build, so I'm just never not shooting that thing. It's like, oh, I'm getting health back from killing enemies. Those Dispiritor cells are also dropping health. Like, I just kind of can't be killed.
Didn't get that one.
Oh yeah, like you can get some ridiculous combos of stuff going in that game.
So the thing that I wound up contending with in the game was, I've got that thing, let's say it's a level 11. I use a key, unlock a thing, and it's offering me the other one, the beam cannon or whatever, at like a level 15. Do I trade for the 15, or do I keep the weapon I actually like in the power weapon, or do I re-roll and save my, burn my card? And I think that's a cool choice you have to make.
I'm almost dreading finding the next power weapon, because it's going to then it's going to decrease my odds of finding better Dispiritors.
But what if it's a better
all the time?
Weapon? I wonder if they'll give you, so I did hit the thing also that happens, and again, minor spoilers here for mechanics, but after that boss where you get the modifier.
Yeah, so that's like a huge part of that game is this, it's basically Halo Skulls, it's modifiers for your run, but it's got that needle gauge.
Yeah.
Where there are both modifiers that make it both easier and harder. And the more easier ones you put on, the farther the needle goes to the left, until if you get into the red, it won't let you start the run.
Yeah.
So for every easy modifier you put on, you have to balance it out. Well, you can fit a couple of small ones.
I think it's like 3, right? 3 points worth.
6. I think it's 6. I think
is
you
it?
have
Okay.
6 points. Each modifier has a number of points on it, and so you can do enough easy modifiers to not go into the red. But if you go into the red, you have to then put hard modifiers on to balance it out, which is an interesting way to go.
They seem like they can be. I didn't engage with it that much, but it seemed like they can be sometimes objective based. Like, hey, I'm just farming in this one, right? So I don't care. I just want all the modifiers that give me more drops for currency, and I'll just take those. You
absolutely could just grind your way to an easier experience as well.
Yeah, which is cool, which I appreciate because
it's a neat mechanic.
It does seem like it is a difficult game, and it does seem like the upgrade tree starts to buff it against some of that difficulty after a while, where you're like, okay, I can kind of attrition the health here so that I'm not necessarily getting much better at the game, but I'm just more survivable.
It is the most directly targeted skill tree at making the game less punishing that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Did you look at the trophies?
Maybe.
Did you see like 1 or 2 are basically don't get hit at all from anything?
Yeah, I can see it.
But beat a boss. Beat a boss.
Yeah, I can see it. Any boss?
I mean, I did say any boss.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That first one, I've beaten the first boss 3 or 4 times at this point. I think you absolutely could beat that thing without getting hit.
There's sometimes I'm still trying to understand all the mechanics in the game, especially in terms of how much damage the shield can take from certain things, like the blue orbs versus the other orbs.
I mean, that too scales. There's, I think, modifiers and maybe also upgrades on the skill tree for how much the shield can absorb or how fast it burns power.
Yeah, how fast. So you can have it out and then it'll like be cool for a little bit and then start draining very quickly unless it gets hit. It's cool. I think it's tough. There are definitely parts where some of the combat arenas, I hate the enemies. I hate that one that I don't know what it is. I don't forget the names of them, but it looks like it's in the mines. It's this thing that shoots out lasers around itself.
Exactly what you were going to say.
And then charges you.
It's the lasers that sweep the ground very aggressively at you. Like there's a lot of shit that comes at you very aggressively in this game. Like you can't just dodge it. You have to dodge through it.
Yes. And then
you can't outrun it.
Once in a while, it'll just charge at you. And then like, it takes... Yep. It's like kind of tanky, like
it's a mobility evasion game as much as it is a shooter.
Yes,
which is kind of what you expect for a bullet hell. It's really fun. Like I'm having a very good time with it as I get more stuff and see more interesting build combinations.
So I do wonder if they'll let you, like going back to what you said before, I do wonder if they'll let you decide to take certain things out of the rotation if you want, because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, some modifiers in there.
I'm also waiting for a way to drop artifacts over time, because right now you fill up your artifact slots and you're just stuck with them.
Yeah, to replace them, or
I have to assume they're going to unlock the ability at some point to let you drop some number of artifacts. There's another thing I had no idea about until I read it somewhere. If you do one of those runs where you start on an earlier level than the one you're on to build stuff up, every time you beat a boss, it purges all the negative effects off of all of your artifacts.
They did say that in the tutorial.
I must have missed that at some point.
Look, I totally missed that there's a sprint, like you could hold down the left bumper.
I missed the sprint is really interesting also. But
I mean, it just basically seems like you have a lot of ground to cover. Let's just get you where you need to go, because you're fairly limited in what you could do. It's almost like a Sonic style or zoom. But
it's very, very fast. I'm even kind of warming up to the storytelling. Like the substance of it is not doing anything wildly interesting. It's like kind of exactly, I think, what you would expect out of a game about like lost science fiction, lost expeditions to a Lovecraft planet. In terms of like, would it shock you to hear the main character had a loved one on a previous expedition who went missing?
What? No.
It's a space madness story.
For example, and that there are hallucinations and people are losing their minds in different ways and stuff. Like it's like it's not doing anything crazy there, but I still am kind of warming up to the way they're doling it out.
Yeah, I just got the beat with the where they get the box from the other expedition, and that was an interesting.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Wrinkle.
Yes. And there's a couple of visions here and there and stuff, but I was like mixed on that game last week. I'm pretty into it now.
I get nervous in that game. I get nervous it's going to get too hard, and that's just because of Returnal. At some point, just got so hard, I just put it down. I do like that it feels maybe I could grind my way past some of that with upgrades.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go fire up Returnal again soon. Like because I'm kind of locked in on this game in a way I was not on that one.
Is that third biome a real pain in the butt?
It's tough.
Oh man.
Like I said, it's you have to hit the eclipse immediately, so it's just hard from the jump. I did not make it far at all the one time I have played that area.
So you don't, even if you warp to that level, you don't really have time to get artifacts that aren't corrupted?
No.
Oh man.
You're just fighting corrupted enemies immediately without artifacts. But also I had been playing for like over 2 hours. I think at that point I was kind of getting a little like brain fatigued from it. So I did my one run there and just got stomped and was like, I'll take a break.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll also, again, we're wondering a lot here because there's a lot of mechanics in the game, but I do wonder if you will ever get a chance to feed a leveled weapon into another weapon. Like I said, like I like that shotgun. I was like, this shotgun's cool. I want to keep it, but it's very low level, right? And they're not giving me another shotgun. At some point, I've got to ditch the thing that's like a level 10 for the thing that's a level 18, right? I need more power on it. I wonder if they'll just let you feed it in to make it better, or if they just want you to be swapping weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a game that is trying to make you make do with whatever you find.
Kind of, yeah. Some of those weapons I just don't like, or I haven't.
Yep,
you know, I haven't taken to. There's one that the alt fire just like it just spews out bullets and it just climbs.
The one with the insane muzzle climb on the alt fire that's my least favorite weapon. Like I just don't even use the alt fire on that one.
Yeah, it's just such a weird one that I'm like, man, going back and forth on whether I like the charge pistol, you know, the one that you can like snipe guys with from afar. It's such a mobility thing. I just feel like I don't have maybe too many fingers to charge stuff. Cool game, Saros. Going to continue. Do you know how many zones there are off the top?
It's hard to tell from the world dial if it's 5 or 6. Okay. It could be either. There's room for 6, but there's only slots for 5 currently. So could be like 5 regular and then some weird final area or something.
Okay. Yeah, right. Or maybe a bonus area. Saros out now. Pretty cool. Let's see what else we have here. A retro rewind, Alex.
Yeah.
You said you have quote unquote finished.
Yeah, I've unlocked every upgrade you can have in that game in its current state. I've expanded the store as far as it will go. I have hit the level cap. I have 2 employees. There is really nothing else to do in that game right now until they start adding more content. So I'm calling this I've beaten it for now.
You're just running a store at that point.
At this point, I'm just running a store, and now I'm kind of like, should I spend my time doing this now? Because like I feel like the runway has kind of run out for now. And I mean, look, it's not a game that is intended to be played forever. Like you can, the level cap is only 20, and it's not that hard to get there. So I think it's more like, hey, when we come back and we got like video games you can put in, maybe there's something there you can get back in on this, and I probably will. I did enjoy my time with it certainly enough to want to check out whatever they do next. I'm just like, okay, I've gotten enough out of this. Any more time spent playing this is basically in service of nothing other than amusing myself.
Right.
It's time to open a real video rental store.
That's it.
There's more steps involved, from what I understand, in starting that versus just playing this video game.
Probably.
I don't know. I think you just type keys on your computer and videos just show up at your back door.
Seems like it could come back, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'm thinking...
Look, there are small video stores that exist around this country that are beloved by people. You know, the Pacific Northwest has, I think, a particular concentration of them. There's one in New York, too, that I know some people like.
Or, I mean, it's not really the same thing, but I'm thinking about how, like, friend of the show, Aaron Trites, went and opened a comic book store, but that's a different thing. A, they're selling goods, not renting them, and B, there's all kinds of in-person, tabletop. Like, there's other stuff that goes along with a comic book store versus video rental.
But they're similar in the sense that they are both businesses you build by building a community around them. Like a comic book store in the modern era doesn't do well unless you are able to build a strong roster of reliable customers that come in and want to, do stuff in your store regularly. And a video rental store, I think, is kind of the same way. Like you need a dedicated community around you that is like, not only wants to rent movies, but is actively invested in supporting and keeping that store alive.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's going to become more feasible as the pendulum continues to swing away from streaming and people get fed up with
services.
algorithmic slop being fed to them all the time.
Does the movie industry have a real collectible market for like, hey, this release of Batman is hard to find? Or
I don't think so.
Only at the outset, like when they say, hey, we're doing some collector steelbook or something, and if you want to collect that, you buy that when it first comes out, but not in like other than a movie being wildly out of print and hard to find, no.
Okay. All right. Not that this should be the reason, but I do feel like some comic book stores are able to at least make a profit because collectors will buy the physical thing to collect, right? Like you'll end,
maybe you're more likely to maybe be able to have certain things in the store that are like, hey, here's the special issue that I have a copy of, like it's very expensive, but it's a marquee item, Yeah. Can't really do that with, the Blu-rays set of Knight Rider.
They
it's
could.
Not the same thing.
I don't know if they'd want them to have 7 different foil covers of,
important.
Of Knight Rider covers on your DVD or your Blu-ray. Sorry, pardon me. I think you have more content coming soon for Retro Rewind as they develop.
They've already said the video game thing is on the roadmap. That's probably I imagine their next big thing. They have some other updates they're planning. So when they do that, I will jump back into it. But I think I've hit the wall as far as, let me put it this way. When I go back and play, that's going to be redesign time because I've now that I have every possible room and every corner of the place unlocked, now I'm going to get stupid with where's my shelf placement? Where is everything going?
Okay. 2.0, and then you'll sell out to Blockbuster.
I'm already got phone calls in being like, hey man, seriously, you want to take this off my hands?
That wasn't the Blockbuster model was just run them out of business.
True. They didn't buy a lot of stuff.
No, they just open up next to you. All right. Let's look a second here. We're going to play a little bit more of it this weekend, but Windrose, the multiplayer pirate game we jumped into last week that I kind of really like and I'm excited to jump more into. Fine. I played some of it off stream, which is not a thing I do that often after we have streamed a game, is just be like, I want to keep going here. We'll see what happens on Friday if we're able to actually pirate ship it up and achieve true piratedom with a multiplayer pirate ship. For those who don't know, it is a multiplayer by way of PvE. Do you know how many people total can get in there?
I think it's 4, isn't it?
4? Yeah, I think 4 is the limit.
Pirate game survival. Craftsmanship.
See a lot of comparisons to Valheim, which sure.
Yeah.
Guess. I don't
Initially felt like Valheim, but we'll have to see how all the crafting lays out.
Valheim seems much more about a game, or much more of a game about building a giant base and fortifying it and kind of hanging out there. This is more mobile, This is more get a ship and sail around.
I hope so.
But it's definitely very much a crafting survival game.
So we'll see. I liked it also for the I don't know what you call it, the frictionless or ease. It's not punishing in a way some of those survival games are in resource sharing and quest sharing. So we'll see on Friday more of that. But a few other things out there that we'll come back to maybe in the following weeks here. I'm still trying to finish up Replaced, which I don't think is a very long game. I just get getting pulled off. Other things going on. Let's wrap the game, unless you guys have anything else to talk about.
Not immediately.
Okay. We'll wrap up the game part here. We're going to get into the news, but first we're going to take another quick break. So tune in for the news after this. And we are back. And it is time for the news. And now, what would a 2026 news segment be without discussing the lost at sea nature of the video games industry as they try to figure out what 2027 might be? I know I can't make this work. I should have thought more about this before we started.
No, it wouldn't be you if you put too
console
much more
business is adrift.
2000 Gen 2 will be fought with first party games. I don't know what Gen 4 will be fought with, but Gen 5
I didn't say you had to keep it going.
Gen 10 will be fought with sticks. I don't know.
I was willing to forgive what you did before. Now I feel like you've taken it too far.
Gone from a pirate metaphor to a World War III metaphor?
Yes, exactly. So we have some news here out of Circana's Q1 Future of Video Games Consumer Survey. And as you might guess, they are talking about why do you play on games on a console? Circana would like to know why, quote, why do you play games on a console is literally their survey question here. Survey says, have more options to buy physical games for consoles.
Okay.
Bing. 24%.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Prefer to play games in a more casual setting. Bing. 36%.
Yeah, okay.
Easier to play together with friends or family. Sure. Ding. 37. This one seems related. Friends or family also play on a console. That kind of seems related to the previous one, but ding. Number 2. Wow, 38%. All right, number 1 here. We were going back to the Navarros. Navarros. Exclusive games. All right, Alex, you've got the last one here. What do you got for the big board?
Wait, what?
What do you? This is Family Feud. What do you got? It's exclusive games. Say exclusive games.
Exclusive games?
Let's see it. Exclusive games. Ding. All right, number 1 on the board. 41%.
All right, good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Come on, I think getting the number 1 on the board rate's better than a good answer. Good answer is like the consolation prize for when you got like second from bottom.
You're right. I should give you I should get a Richard Dawson kiss on the mouth right now. Yeah.
Yeah, a big wet one. All right, so the big point of this story, aside from developers and console manufacturers and first party trying to figure out how to get people to play on their consoles and buy their consoles, is this report from Circana saying that while it has dropped 8 points year over year from Q1 2025, in Q1 2026, people still say their number 1 reason, though not much more of a percentage than their number 2, are that the games I want to play are exclusive to a console.
Yeah, those are the 2 angles to me here on the. I mean, this is relevant at all because Sony and Microsoft both, by their own admission, or in some cases based on reporting, are pretty deep in reevaluating what their exclusive strategy is, right? Like everything about the console business is a bit up in the air right now, and people are trying to figure out what the hell it's going to be going forward. But
so on the Sony end, you've got what, PC, right?
Like reportedly they're pulling back on PC releases of their games. Like the Xbox leadership has also been saying like, hey, we're kind of taking a look at what our exclusive, non-exclusive strategy is. Anyway. Yeah, like the 2 things here are like games being exclusive to a console is still the number 1 reason people cite in this survey for playing on a console, but also that's down 8 points in a year.
Yeah, and so not to belabor the thing because you might have got lost in my very, very funny Family Feud thing. That's 41% of survey respondents with the number 1 console exclusives. Very close to a 38%, which is friends or family also play on console, which is very close to the 37%, which said easier to play together with friends or family. And I kind of feel like those 2 and 3 are so tied together because if you're on a console, it's probably easier to play with friends or family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think those things are kind of inherent. So if you take those together, it's a pretty solid data point to say, hey, if your friends are on here, your family's on here, and we make it easy to just play alongside of them, this is a big driver for playing on a console versus playing somewhere else on a different ecosystem. It had been near 50% of respondents had been saying year over year, last year said exclusives.
This time last year it was a solid half of people, and it's down to 41 now.
Yeah, so
I don't know what you think if you're Sony or Microsoft looking at this. I mean, obviously they have plenty of their own internal data. It's not like they're biting their nails waiting for this one survey every year, but
yeah,
I assume this sentiment is probably pretty consistent across different demographics, different certain groups of respondents or whatever.
So do you think
it's obviously still pretty strong demand for exclusives, but also eroding?
Yeah. Yeah, and not in a vacuum either, because we have talked a bunch about the forever games, right? And people who play the same games for years, with their friend group and jump back in, and that could probably also have a knock-on effect for their choices on what platform they play, right? Like,
Right.
hey, we've always played on PlayStation. This is where we play Fortnite. This is where all my friends are. We only play Fortnite, Madden, Rainbow Six, whatever it is. I'm very hip. Rocket League,
The stuff the kids are playing.
So yeah, interesting story there. I think, again, going back to the top in a less goofy way, Microsoft and Sony really, I think, looking into what a 2027 and beyond is going to look like in terms of their strategy here.
It's still very funny to me that we still have to have this conversation basically pretending Nintendo is in another dimension.
Nintendo is
they are.
Because they just haven't changed.
Yeah.
Like, they have not really changed their strategy in a meaningful way.
Like, they just aren't in the conversation. They're their own thing.
Yeah.
And will continue to be.
Hey, I had we'll talk about Nintendo a little bit later on the news and them being in their own dimension a little bit.
Mhm.
But, we talk a lot about Xbox in terms of where they came from and how big they were in the 360 era and all the kind of novel things they did leading up to the 360 era, which I think pushed them ahead of Sony, honestly. Networking, unified gamer tags, easy online. Were they the first console to launch out of the gate with an internal hard drive?
Who?
Xbox?
Yes, the original Xbox was the first one.
To launch with it. I think that's also under talked about. I don't think that is talked about as much as as somebody who is now trying to replace their original Xbox hard drive and they has a locked code with an EEPROM. I'm like, the fuck were they doing? And it's probably piracy related, being like, somebody's just going to take the hard drive out of here and put it into another console and have all of my games.
Is a Snap-on hard drive an internal hard drive technically?
No, we're talking about the original Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox. Well, okay.
Not the 360.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
that
say,
one did have an internal hard drive.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say that stuff was like pretty well publicized and lauded at the time, and in retrospect, like the Ethernet port and the hard drive in particular were like, whoa. Like,
whoa.
They're going for it.
Yeah, like console storage. Whoa, like like dedicated
internal storage, not on a memory card storage.
Yeah. But I mean, that thing was like practically a PC, like way more than current consoles are like PCs in the popular conception.
Yeah, just interesting going back as we talk about Microsoft and them going back to quote unquote their roots, to use their words, and also as they get ready to. I'm not saying they have something scheduled, so don't get me wrong, but I'm sure we will hear about Project Helix in the near future, their PC console hybrid.
They seem anxious to talk about it, it seems.
All right. Before we're talking off camera, off mic here about stuff that's going on, and one of the things that keeps getting stuck in my brain is what is going to happen with Warner Brothers, the gaming department, and Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers writ large, but yes, especially the gaming department.
In the gaming department. And Alex, we've got some news here from Ed Boon. There's an interview here with Ed Boon, not necessarily about that, but maybe about what is going on at NetherRealm.
News it's
updates,
doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Proof of life.
It's a kind of just a reminder that we're still working on Mortal Kombat, because in this interview he's asked basically what's the current state of Mortal Kombat, and what he says without actually announcing anything is that yes, we have Mortal Kombat currently in the works. Can't say more about it beyond that, but that's not really surprising because you have to figure at any given time, like roughly 85% of all NetherRealm time is spent with at least someone working on something related to Mortal Kombat, right?
Well, I mean, obviously they're always thinking about it, but I mean, I think that the perpetual question right now is are they ever going to pivot back to Injustice again? Because they were doing a one-on, one-off, or kind of either-or situation of doing MK then doing Injustice.
But they only did that for a couple of years, didn't they?
Yeah, but
there
have also been indications in like job postings and stuff that they were going to do an Injustice 3 in the last few years. So I think combined with, I think there are a decent number of people that would really like to see another Injustice. Combined with that, and like maybe this is mapping my own feelings onto the matter a little too much, but like felt like MK1 was maybe a little underwhelming.
No, I agree with that.
In the final analysis, like I'm not sure I love that reboot universe that much. And I get the sense, this is extremely anecdotal. I don't think MK1 has done much in the competitive scene either.
No,
I know MK is always kind of, they're never going to be like final main stage at Evo tier, but
But when a new one comes around, it usually attracts at least some attention for a solid couple of years. And I feel like in the wake of one, everyone kind of forgot about it after the first year. Like which isn't to say that there aren't still people playing it competitively, but as far as like whether people are like clamoring to watch it, it does not seem like the demand is very high.
Yeah. I just, just like that reboot being kind of weird and also leaving things in, I remember how the thing ends. Like that game just leaves the MK universe or multiverse in a really strange place. Like, I think it is kind of notable that it sounds like they might be going right back to another MK.
There's also in that interview, of course, Ed Boon says the word Street Fighter and says, I would love to have a Street Fighter character in MK.
Like that's the thing that's getting a lot of the headlines. This is a Collider interview, I assume, on the back of Mortal Kombat 2, the film that comes out in 2 days.
So that was the other thing I was going to bring out. That movie's out in like 2 days, and I feel like I have seen very little actual promotion for it, despite some trailers looking kind of decent, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't watched any trailers because I just want to see the movie. I think reviews went up as of this morning, or maybe yesterday.
It's got like a high 70s on Rotten Tomatoes, which for a genre film of this particular pedigree isn't that bad.
I didn't hate that first movie. It's far from perfect.
It's a little antiseptic. Like, I feel like that movie just doesn't have a lot of grime or grit to it, but it is fun enough.
There are some individual sequences that are very good.
Yes.
In that movie.
And their Scorpion and Sub-Zero look good.
Yes. Like, it was good enough that I would definitely watch follow-up, which I guess we will soon.
And this one seems goofier, which I think could be good.
And when is our Street Fighter movie?
That's October.
Okay. So we still got a little ways. Yeah, they mentioned they talk about the Street Fighter movie, and there's some goofing on there, and we'll see which ones when they come out. Like who does better, MK or Street Fighter? Ed Boon seems to have the right attitude towards it. Be like, don't take it too seriously, folks. He's classy about it for sure, but also I bet it's a lot easier for like Street Fighter gets most of the tournament prestige. I mean, it's not the only game. Obviously, there's other franchises that are big at EVO and stuff like that. But like Street Fighter is always kind of the thing everybody goes back to as like, this is the competitive fighting game of record. I'm sure a lot that stuff is a lot easier for him to take looking at the MK sales figures. Mm-hmm.
It's like, that game might get the prestige, but we are the highest selling fighting game of all time by a lot.
If you had to bet real dollars, not a lot, but real dollars,
but some amount.
More tattoos, MK tattoos or Street Fighter tattoos?
I bet it's MK.
You bet it's MK? I bet it's MK too.
I bet it's MK.
Yeah. So you think more Scorpions
just on the logo alone?
Okay, you think
the logo alone probably doubles the actual number we're talking about.
Totally. I think there's both a more graphic design and iconography that is like iconic from that game than Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know how to qualify this, but like, I just feel like
the tattoo crowd,
the people who like MK a lot, and the people who want to get video game stuff tattooed on them, crowd, real tight Venn diagram.
Yeah.
yeah. I think you're right.
So if you have a Street Fighter tattoo, by all means, send us a photo as long as it's appropriate. We'd love to see where your Blanca ended up on your body.
That's right.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I've run the MK tattoo exercise on this podcast before, but how about the Street Fighter one?
Yeah, right. Exactly. We need to know. We need to do further analysis.
Not hard to find Street Fighter tattoos.
No,
I bet they're out there.
Are they mostly like Ryu throwing a fireball?
Oh man, the like versus screen graphics from 2 tattoo thing is pretty rad.
Like the
people have like the up close portraits from versus screen.
Do they have one on each pec?
Yes, or on each calf or whatever. Like
nice.
The facing portraits from the pre-match versus screen.
Does it just say go home and be a family man?
That's pretty good.
Okay, that's pretty good. I bet. Okay, follow-up question for Street Fighter 2 in particular, most tattooed character. Is it Guile? You think Guile is up there?
I don't think so.
Ryu?
Unless you count every
it?
American flag tattoo is inherently a Guile tattoo.
That's not fair, yeah.
I'm gonna say...
I bet there's a lot of Bison tattoos out there.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's probably Ryu, Ken, Bison, and Akuma are probably like all in a pretty close head-to-head.
You think Guile's lower down?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. How about Chun-Li?
Higher end.
Up there?
Probably the top woman character, maybe Juri or Cammy as a second.
I think like probably the best one of these is the guy who just got Vega's actual tattoo on him.
Okay, that's pretty
with
funny.
the snake across his chest.
Right. Yeah, that counts. All right. Well, Ed Boon.
Sorry, I just got to say it. When I was a kid, I thought Vega was the coolest fucking design for a fighting game character ever.
Yeah.
Very cool. Got that damn claw and a mask.
The mask was sick. The fucking claw was sick. He was like tall and lean. He had the fucking bullfighter's pants on. Like everything about that character was my favorite thing about Street Fighter.
I'm kind of...
Except playing him, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Still to this day, a little surprised they have not Final Fantasied these Street Fighter character names and just made them consistent. Or maybe they have. They didn't go the other way in Japan, did they?
I don't know.
I think the Japanese names for the main characters are still the same in Japan.
So there's still just a mismatch across regions?
I think there is, yeah.
Like Vega is still Balrog in Japan?
I could be 100% wrong with that, but I thought I remembered not that long ago seeing a Japanese build of Street Fighter where it was still like Balrog was Bison and that stuff.
Or is that what it is? I can never keep it straight.
Oh, no, sorry. Vega is Bison. Balrog is Vega.
I don't even know which direction
you know where I'm going with that.
Yes.
Wait, I thought it was. Oh, sorry. I thought it was. Yeah. Wait, Balrog is
M. Bison
because it's Mike Tyson.
Yes.
Yeah. Bison is the boxer, or in some communities they just call him boxer.
But Vega was Bison in Japan, and like what Balrog was Vega.
But a Sagat's a Sagat.
As far as I know, Sagat is the same across all boundaries and territories.
Look. I looked up when we were going to do this news story. I just had to look up, and because it's pending here, when they think this Paramount thing is supposed to close. And they said Ellison said they expect it to close end of this year, which is maybe sooner than I thought for something this big. That is not that far away in terms of a close.
That is 7 months.
And whether or not that affects anything at NetherRealm at close, I probably doubt at close, but this is a major media buy, and it's not a media buy for a games group. It's not like the Activision Microsoft stuff, right? This is who knows what the heck is happening here.
There's still a lot of X factors in this sale too. Like I feel like it's not a guarantee yet.
Yeah, but I feel like with the NetherRealm thing in specific, they're probably going to pretty much keep doing their thing.
I assume
here or somewhere else, like they are too successful and profitable and too durable for anybody to, like, they might get sold off, but they're still just going to kind of keep doing their thing here or somewhere else.
It would be NetherRealm and Telltale, right? Those would be the Traveler's Tales.
Traveler's Tales. This is the main ones I can think of.
Because they closed Monolith
is gone.
Rocksteady is kind of...
I'm not sure what they're up to since Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Not to be dismissive of it. It's a huge deal. So
actually, does Warner own Avalanche outright? I can't remember.
Oh, they might.
Yeah, they do.
One of them
not the other Avalanche.
Not the other Avalanche.
The American Avalanche, not the Scandinavian one.
Right.
Yeah, Avalanche also quite valuable at this point, I would assume.
I could see them consolidating. I mean, I just don't know if I don't think Skydance has a games group, right? So I don't know how they roll in. All right. We talked a lot about Capcom before in terms of Pragmata and how well Pragmata is doing, and it's Pragmata, that new IP. But they have another game Capcom does, and it is Resident Evil. You heard of it?
No.
Did you know that you can play in the newest one, Resident Evil Requiem? You can play in first person or third person.
That sounds like a mistake.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are some stats on that, fellas.
Yeah, okay. I pulled this for two reasons. I think these statistics themselves are interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also think this is interesting because of how rarely you get a look at this kind of data from game developers. As a third order thing here, it's also just a reminder of exactly how much data is being collected on everything you do all the time.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Capcom actually has talked about some of the stats, some of the metrics they have pulled from people playing Resident Evil Requiem. I assume every game developer does this constantly, right?
Internally, right?
That's like constant. Well, yeah, I mean, they're constantly collecting data on how you play their games because they want to make better games in the future. Capcom, for example, is very in your face about making you sign off on, like they always at the beginning of the game, like, hey, do you approve of like online data collection as you play? Yes or no? Like plenty of games don't do that.
Yeah. So
I don't think that means they're not collecting data, though.
Right.
I think it just means there are no binding rules around what you have to say to the player about doing so.
Maybe it's tucked into the EULA somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Again, like the data nerd side of me is fascinated by this stuff. The like person who values their privacy greatly. Again, like am I worried about an anonymized metric on which perspectives I used in this game per character? No. But still, occasionally seeing something like this, you're like, oh man, every time you touch an input on anything, is probably recording some kind of data on what you're doing.
Especially
and reporting that back.
Look, I'm not that concerned about this. I'm kind of with you, though. It is a reminder about it.
Again, this example is quite benign, but it is also illustrative of the fact that you kind of can't do anything with a computing device of any kind these days without something getting recorded.
I think it's just a little starker for this because it is a severely offline game, right? There's really just nothing happening except calling back. So anyway, what did the data tell us?
Before I get into these specific numbers, I will just say any game developers listening to this that want to write in, like, to be read on the show or not, anonymous or not, just like I would love to hear just some of the stuff that you're exposing in the metrics you're collecting, you know? It's just like, think about how many things there are that you do in video games and like, or actually put yourself in the mindset of a game developer. Like, think about all the things you would like to know about how people play your games.
Especially if you're online and balancing, right?
But even if you're not, you know, just like trying to make games that are stickier in the future, even if it's a single player game, it's like, hey, I want to make a game that is as fun as it can be.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much you can do sitting on the other side of one-way glass watching people play your game in a room, you know? It's like, versus millions of people and the data you can collect on that. Like, again, like from a game design perspective, I think it's like fascinating thinking about racking up, like, how many times was this type of grenade thrown? Or what was the sequence of weapons people switched between before they used this ability? Or just like a bajillion things you could collect.
Or when did people stop playing my game? Like, what level?
Yeah, I think that's a classic one. Although achievements have like stealth begun to serve that role for a long time. If you just build in milestone achievements in your game, you can, like, you know, you're making that data public effectively.
What's the least picked up collectible? Oops, we hit it too far.
Yeah, it's got to be an interesting just kind of line of thought in game design. Anyway, whatever. It's cool that they this was in talking to a Japanese games magazine. The director of Resident Evil Requiem talked about the perspective stuff, which is kind of interesting. I think almost everybody stuck to third person for Leon.
Yeah.
90% of people
to it.
Yeah. 90% of people stuck to third person for Leon, which, like, I mean, come on, that is the Leon gameplay, right? Like, that style of Leon gameplay is third person, full stop. Only about 60% of people stuck to first person for Grace, though.
So I played first person Grace, and I think it's a great experience, first person Grace. My first playthrough, and I totally went third person.
Interesting.
On the second one.
I guess I could see that. Sure.
I also put her in a cool outfit the second time. I wanted to see it. So, I mean,
you know, it lets you see more. Like, it is, you know, I think that there's definitely just a playability argument.
Yeah.
I tried her third person just a little bit in the basement part in my first playthrough, which I think is the scariest part of that game. Like, the basement of the care center is
the prison,
kind of terrifying in spots, and like it became slightly less terrifying in third person, so I actually just switched it back. There's some like regional breakdown stuff and platform here as well. Players in Japan and Asia were more likely to play her in third person. Players on PC were more likely to play first person. That's not super surprising for her. But, you know, there's not a lot of games that let you make those decisions.
No.
True.
Like
they're usually designed in such a way that it's really not possible to do that effectively.
Like, let alone two playable characters, having options for third and first person across two characters who play very differently is like kind of a shocking amount of customization as these things go.
So an interesting thing that I will just say anecdotally, and somebody can confirm this, I didn't do any scientific tests, but you know how Grace generally doesn't have a sprint? She's not a very fast runner in first person. Sometimes it feels like, you know, it adds to the tension, right? She can't get away.
Because she's 4'10".
And then in third person, that would look very weird. She'd look like she's moving through mud.
Does she not have a sprint?
She doesn't have she doesn't move that quickly. And then in third person, she stumbles. Like her third person character will move and like stumble a bit. And I think it's probably to make sure the gameplay is the same, right? So that animates in a different way. Again, I didn't go back and forth, but I'm pretty sure I don't remember her ever stumbling in first person. And in third person, I feel like she does this kind of like clamber once in a while. And I just assumed it's because she is kind of moves a little slower. You know, she is the more horror hide and don't get killed Grace.
Yeah, I could if I ever go back and get challenges I missed and stuff in that, I could see switching to third for her, just because, especially if you're trying to do that, like don't get hit one.
Oh,
or don't use,
don't get hit.
Is it don't get hit, or just no? It's just don't use healing items.
Don't use healing items. Yes.
Yeah, but you're still trying to minimize your damage, and you can see more. You know, you can see where the character hitbox is in third person and stuff like that.
You know, it really helps with that. Unlimited ammo.
Yeah, sure.
What a fun thing.
I think some people just don't either really prefer third person or don't like first person, or both. I don't know. Like there are some people. It seems like a fair slice of the market kind of only likes third person at this point.
Now I need to ask Capcom about their inverted statistics. I need to know who's out there. Is it a dying breed of people? Are they phasing it out, or is it coming back?
If this thing ever ends, if we ever stop talking to microphones, for hours a week, I could see, I mean, whatever, I don't know that I'm qualified or whatever, but I think it would be really fascinating to be involved in a game design space like this.
Like the analytics side?
But I guess that's like all game design now, right? Like I assume nobody is flying, you know, what's the term here? You know, nobody is not taking in some kind of information like this probably these days.
Yeah, I mean, data is the new oil, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has been for some time.
All right. Finally here, well, not our last story, but nearing the end of the news here, Reggie's back in the news. You might remember Reggie, Nintendo, folks. Reggie.
Yes, his name is Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's here.
He's still out there somehow.
He's about kicking ass. He's about taking names. They're about
not so
making
much
games.
these days.
Reggie.
I was there.
Play the game.
I was in the audience when he came out and said that.
This thing weighs as much as 7 paper clips. Reggie had a lot of screen time, but he is Reggie was a president. Was he of Nintendo of America?
President of Nintendo NOA. Yes.
And he spent a lot of time. He came from good stock, right? Pizza Hut stock, right? He is he was a rough and tumble Pizza Hut man.
He was a man who knew how to sell things.
Yeah. And I guess stand up to Amazon. What's this story all about?
Yeah, so he did an interview at NYU's Game Center last week. I can't believe this has come out. Like, finally this can be answered. Why the fuck did Amazon not sell Nintendo products for so long?
Yeah.
Now we know. It's because they went to Reggie and like tried to back channel a favorable deal from Nintendo to get one over on their competitors.
Yeah.
Is the story he told. Like, I mean, this was about as an authoritative a source as you could ask for on this.
This is not the kind of thing he would go around telling stories about. That's not him.
Well, you know, now he's far enough removed from that stuff that he probably feels. I mean, I think
when
he's
I say telling stories, I mean like he wouldn't make this shit up out of nowhere. Like that's not what he would do.
No, definitely not. But I mean, I think he's written at least one book at this point, right? I think
there was one. Yeah.
Like this is the type of stuff you don't really hear until people are like far enough removed from their careers that they don't give a shit anymore, and also have enough money to not give a shit anymore. But yeah, they talked in this conversation about that period of time, which I don't remember how long it was, but I remember it was pretty inconvenient for a while, especially like when the Switch 1 was hard to find and stuff. And that's like a major retailer that was not an option for trying to get your hands on hard to find Nintendo stuff, like especially covering games professionally. It was like, man, probably would make things easier if we could get Nintendo stuff from Amazon. But anyway, Amazon's mentality back then is that they wanted to have the lowest price out in the marketplace, even lower than Walmart. Essentially, what Amazon wanted was an obscene amount of support, financial support, so they could have the lowest price and beat Walmart. I literally said to the executive, you know that's illegal, right? I can't do that. We stopped selling to Amazon, and it's because I wasn't going to do something illegal.
That's bananas.
I wasn't going to do something that would put at risk the relationship we had with other retailers.
So I went and I looked up, like, well, okay, like, is this just a broad illegal thing?
I just assumed it was some kind of anti-competitive, antitrust regulation that I don't know specifically what the law is.
So there is the Robinson-Patman Act, and it says, is according to Wikipedia, in general, the act prohibits sales that discriminate in price on the sale of goods to equally situated distributors when the effect of such sales is to reduce competition. Price means net price and includes all compensation paid. The seller may not throw in additional goods or services. Injured parties or the U.S. may, et cetera, bring action. So there was that. I saw some people talking about I think the Sherman antitrust stuff, but that seems to be pretty explicit that you cannot basically be in cahoots.
I don't
undermine.
I don't know if there's a term for this, kind of like price fixing, which is not the same thing. Price fixing is when producers of a type of good all collude to keep prices artificially high. This is more about like kind of collusion between a producer and one distributor over other distributors. I don't know.
It's anti-competitive stuff, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a kind of a pithy title for that type of malfeasance, though.
So yeah, Reggie says you ain't gonna push Reggie around.
That just really seems like some shit Amazon would do.
Oh yeah, it's extremely believable.
With all the subsequent years of hindsight of observing Amazon's general behavior and hearing about how they do things internally and stuff, like this is not super surprising to hear, but I am still, as somebody who stared at this situation for years going, man, why does Amazon not sell Nintendo stuff?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
It was kind of cool to finally hear that addressed.
And maybe a not cool answer, but an answer. The other two things that I picked out of this little interview that were reported on here. One was, hey, because he was talking to NYU, the game school there, and basically said, hey, seniors, people were like, what is going on in the games industry? And are default leaders, basically, right? I'm paraphrasing here, but default leaders in the game space. And Reggie basically says, like, hey, not really, but if you're doing massive layoffs, you need to look in the mirror and say, hey, I probably fucked up somewhere if I have to do massive layoffs at my company. And basically told the seniors to go back and look if they have done, a company has done massive layoffs in the near past. And if they have, that's probably a big red flag that they may do them again in the future. The other part I thought was interesting was when asked about why Nintendo, I guess, doesn't ever put their games on sale, Reggie was basically like, because our shit's really good. We make what is it? The Kyoto
craftsmanship.
Kyoto craftsmanship.
I'd liken it to this idea of Kyoto craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Kyoto is a city known for its fine craftsmanship. I'm convinced that Nintendo as a company has that same mentality. We are going to build the best games. We are going to send them out feature complete. And as a result, we don't discount our games.
Which is okay.
I mean,
this has some real, like, a lot of people don't know this, but murder is very heavily discouraged in Japanese society kind of talk. Like, it just feels like, okay, you're telling me that nothing in Kyoto ever goes on sale? I don't believe that.
Not Kyoto craftsmanship. It's Mario time. Also, look, they've patched their games. The games have been patched. Content has been added post-launch. They do generally seem to have a pretty good record of, Nintendo does of launching a not buggy piece of software, but there have been things, but very funny to see Reggie just be like, because our shit's good. We don't put our stuff. I think he goes on to say something like, if you're putting your stuff on sale, you really should question the quality of your product or something like that to that effect, or at least that's how I read it. What do you say? Not that I'm saying any company should be discounting their games, but I do think there's a thoughtfulness that has to happen out in the marketplace where you need to think about what you're offering and what that fair price is versus being beholden to a particular price point. Reggie, still out there making waves.
Yeah. I feel like we don't have as many big personalities in games company leadership as we used to.
No, well, I'll say A, yes, 100%. B, probably because they're all merged now. They all consolidated. But yes. Hey.
Well, the era of the stage show is over. Like you kind of don't have a place to put people like that quite like you used to.
I know.
I also just don't think like that kind of marketing works as well these days because everything is so kind of like linked in with, like streamer and influencer marketing type stuff nowadays that I feel like no one really cares what the guy who works for the company has to say. They want to hear what the real fans have to say,
We lost
the people who got a paid sponsorship to cover this, all right?
No more carnival barking.
I just don't think that approach works as well anymore.
Yeah.
Tim Kaine put out a banger on his YouTube channel last week, basically talking about influencers just telling people what to think.
Oh,
yeah.
Now.
Oh.
Well, no, don't worry. They're about to be replaced by ChatGPT telling people what to think.
Like
so, it's just we're cycling through these at a pretty good clip now.
Tim Kaine's YouTube channel rules.
Politician Tim Kaine.
No.
Yeah,
no.
got it.
Tim Kaine without an E.
Okay.
It's just
Tim Kaine, president of the wasteland.
Is that his title? Is that
probably not. I don't know. He seems like he's got pretty complicated feelings about Fallout.
Oh yeah, I thought he was pretty happy with everything. Maybe that was just the TV show. I haven't watched too much of his stuff.
He has gestured toward the end of Interplay and stuff like that in a way that sounds like it was probably, look, you could see it. The way that company fell apart. We don't need to get too into the history, didn't he? I think he left before Fallout 2 was too far along, or at least he left before it came out.
I don't know that history.
I you get the sense that, being separated from something you poured that much of yourself into was maybe not always the rosiest situation, but anyway.
Yes. Well, that's a good segue to our final story here of Paste. Alex, of Paste Magazine. Now, I'm not 100%. I didn't know where Paste was in 2026, and you mentioned that they were shuttering.
Well, Paste Games specifically. So I'm not familiar with all the ins and outs as far as like what else might be going on with Paste and the larger sort of ecosystem there, but Paste Games has existed for, I think, the better part of 16 years now. Garrett Martin was like kind of the main editor there for pretty much, I think, that entire time. And the thing about Paste was it was one of the only places I feel like I can really point to over the last decade and a half. There were others, but there weren't a great many of them that were just a great kind of staging ground for a lot of young writers that maybe had not had a good opportunity to get out there and have their byline somewhere before. One of those includes, let's just say, a friend of ours, Austin Walker. But, there's a lot of other people like Lee Alexander wrote for there, Kirk Hamilton, Maddie Myers, Kara Ellison, Cameron Kunzelman, like Ian Williams, Gita Jackson, like a lot of people have gone through that platform over the years and done some very good work, because the philosophy there was very much like, do you have an idea? Let's go with it. Let's try it. Like, people could do criticism there that wasn't just straight product review. And I think that was what kind of kept it interesting for a really long time.
And they are shutting it down, Pace Games?
So it sounds like whatever the current entity is will still maybe be doing some games coverage around the edges, but they no longer have a full-time staff dedicated to it. And I think that staff was mostly Garrett and one other person and a cadre of freelancers that were doing work, which is basically how it's worked most of Pace's lifespan from what I understand. But I just want to give Garrett and that whole crew a shout out, because they did that work in the trenches for a long time and gave some young writers some very good opportunities over the years, and there aren't enough of those places left.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yes. Platforms with eyeballs.
Platforms with eyeballs, but also platforms that will let a writer try something and not just write the same kind of general, social media compliant content that we make nowadays.
That's right.
Critical Distance has a pretty long story up about this closure. Speaking of names that have been doing it for a while in this space, but yeah, if you can Google that pretty easily. But they've got a pretty long breakdown by year of interesting articles that they ran over
just some
time.
of their favorites from over the years. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Paste Games, and like you said, Alex, the folks over there who have been holding it down, and the folks who have contributed to it.
If you need freelancers, you could do a lot worse than any of the people that have recently had a byline there.
I mean, I love those people went on to very successful careers.
Yes.
Very talented writers. All right. That is going to do it for the news here. We also have an email address, and that email address is podcast@nextlander.com. 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 Brad Shoemaker, got an email or few in that bag of yours?
Kind of feels like another theme week.
Okay.
Got a lot of responses about secret tracks on CDs and things of that nature.
Okay.
Let's see. William writes in and says the new Poison the Well album released last month has a secret track, Silence included.
Okay.
So I don't know who that is, but
they're like a metalcore band.
Okay. To be fair, it's their first release in something like 17 years. So that keeps with the theme of nobody under 30 probably knowing about this.
Okay.
But it is still being done, for what it's worth.
Well, good for them keeping it alive.
This one's crazy. This one is signed Sayonara Sidestep.
Okay.
When it comes to secret tracks on albums, vinyl records can do some amazing stuff.
Huh.
My Gorillaz record has a looping groove at the end of the album that's just silence, but you can pick up the needle and place it in the secret groove after that to hear a remixed song.
Oh, okay.
Crazier still, Jack White's Lazaretto vinyl record has 2 hidden tracks underneath the center label.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's funny.
That kind of sucks because you have to peel the label up.
You have to place the needle there and play at 45 and 78 RPM respectively. There's also a song that has different intros depending on which groove the needle goes into.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's better than just a bunch of silence at the end of a CD, I gotta say.
Yes, I agree with that.
Unless you're like, I don't want to destroy my record, I will never hear this track.
Yep. Let's see. Maybe one other CD one here from DW.
Okay.
I discovered recently that Microsoft no longer, and this is not video game related
Okay.
so much this week, but anyway. I discovered recently that Microsoft no longer automatically gets the information for CDs in Windows as of January 1st, 2026. This is annoying since Windows Media Player has always been the easiest way to rip CDs on a PC. It used to be pretty much put the CD in and hit rip. Now I've been tracking down the track listings and entering them manually. Do you all know of any good alternatives?
Oh, God, yes, I do.
Yes,
I ever.
yes.
Please, for the love of God, use Exact Audio Copy.
Yes, the Exact Audio. Okay, so yes, a program called Exact Audio Copy is basically the gold standard in the CD ripping world.
Yes.
For multiple reasons, not least of which is that it queries like 5 different metadata services, so you will have zero problem hitting Discogs or Music Brains or any of those by clicking one button to populate your track info.
Mm-hmm.
But also that thing does a bunch of like low level checks and generates a bunch of like log output to tell you exactly how accurately you, as the name implies, that thing is like hell bent on making sure it accurately rips the CD or tells you very explicitly if it had errors trying to.
That's cool.
The data.
I didn't know that. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, EAC has been around for like 20 something years.
I just used Music
and it looks
Brains
like it.
Or Picard.
Music Brains is also good. Like Music Brains is a good tool as well.
What is? I was looking up Music Brains Picard not super long ago, and I can't remember what exactly that is. That's software. Yes, that's software. I think that's like software. Picard is software that plugs into the Music Brains database.
That's what I would use. So this, what's it called again? Exact Music Copy?
Exact Audio Copy.
Exact Audio Copy. EAC.
Okay. And so that'll just read from your drive and rip a. Does it have options if you want to compress or anything, or it is looking
yes,
for?
It'll do any kind of compression you want it to do, or it will just straight rip it.
You can give it an external compressor and even like command line arguments and stuff to it, or you can configure all kinds of shit.
That's cool.
But to be clear, it's also really easy to just do the core thing of put a CD in and rip it that way.
Yeah. You can just. I mean, it does it. Whatever. This is a deep rabbit hole. There's different CD-ROMs, or none of them are CD-ROMs these days. They're all DVD or Blu-ray drives, but they have different capabilities for like what low-level stuff on a CD they can access. Because there's like industry kind of. I'm not super well versed in that stuff, but there's like industry specifiers you can pull off CDs if you have the right kind of drive and stuff like that.
Interesting. Oh, so you might even know what release you got, like what year and
yes, because some people get real obsessive about which release of an album they have or ripping.
Hey, maybe especially it was remastered or something.
Yeah, or especially when you get into like albums that had to be pulled from sale because they had some sample on them that they didn't bother to license and stuff like that.
Like Little Big Planet. Yep. You think that Little Big Planet original release sells for anything sealed? Do you think anybody cares about that anymore? Like,
I don't know.
Let me put it this way. I had completely forgotten what you were even talking about. And I had to think about it for a second. Like, wait, what are they? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, there was There was music in there that I believe some found objectionable.
Yeah,
as I recall.
It's one of the few things I can think of where a physical release wound up getting pulled off a shelf. Because even did the Grand Theft Auto physical release get pulled down when it had the hot coffee stuff?
Yes, I believe they pulled that from sale,
and then it went back up.
It was a reissue after that.
Okay.
And then there was also the Xbox ports. Original Xbox ports of GTA that also got pulled from sale for other objectionable stuff.
Oh, okay.
I believe I have that one. I bought the combo pack of, what is it? Is it all three? I'd have to dig it out of the closet. I can't remember.
Silver box.
Yeah, it's that. It's either 3 in Vice City or it might be 3 through San Andreas. I forget, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I've got the pre pulled from sale version of that.
Wow, I'm sure all that stuff is ripped and digitized.
Yeah. Yes.
Does that audio copy stuff? That's only doing audio, exact audio copy.
That's just for music.
That's just for audio. Yeah.
Okay, it won't do data discs or anything.
Just for Redbook audio.
Okay. Hey, if you were ripping to your server, would you rip your audio CD and compress it, or would you put it into FLAC, or would you just leave
I FLAC it?
Yeah, I've ripped FLAC.
There's really no trade-off to speak of.
So you don't keep a copy of just the ripped, like...
No, I mean, because you can just regenerate that from... That's part of the... In fact, that is the value of having FLAC, is that you can just spit it back out uncompressed, and it is a bit exact copy of what went in before it was compressed.
Okay, so you can always revert
because it's
back.
lossless.
Yeah.
The way to think about FLAC is like, you think about put a text file in a zip file.
Yeah.
When you pull that text file out of the zip file, it's not like it's missing a third of the A's and O's or anything like that.
It's just a container.
It is the text file again, right? So...
Okay.
That's what FLAC is, but for audio. The audio that comes out of it is exactly what went into it.
Right. Just the box. Just a little box.
Yep.
I'm surprised. I guess I'm not surprised. I'm happy to see that so many things just support FLAC now, as if it were an MP3. Not everything that supports MP3, but a lot of stuff really does just support FLAC.
So now let's start talking about some alternative lossless formats. There's ALAC, Apple's lossless audio.
Is that still around?
There's Monkey's Audio.
Okay.
Which I believe, if I haven't seen a Monkey's file in a very long time, I think has an extension .ape.
Okay.
That's what a .ape is. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That is a much older, like I think early 2000s lossless audio compression format or codec rather. Yeah. Audio's fun.
Audio, it's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare.
Unless you use exact audio copy, in which case it's less of a nightmare.
That's
more of a nightmare because then you realize how much your CDs are more damaged than you thought.
I need to go, and I just found my binder of old CDs. I might go just spend some time making another folder, pulling them all in, doing that, and then seeing what I already have in my library. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where I used Picard and Music Brains was comparing metadata and lengths of tracks to be like, well, this one's a second shorter than the one you have in your library. Which one do you want to keep? And be like, oh God, I don't know. The higher bitrate one. All right, that's going to do it. Podcast@nextlander.com. You could send in your emails to podcast@nextlander.com. Speaking of nightmares, I was just looking, Brad, you said you go optical out of your TV into your speaker system, but you only do stereo, right?
Yep.
Did you know that, or it seems like from my TV, my new TV, I did not realize this until I was digging in, that over optical, it supports basically Dolby Digital, and then that's about it. Doesn't support all the other Dolby nonsense that's out there.
I've never had a 5.1 system in my life, so I'm not an authority there, but yeah, I think you're right. Like optical does top out at some pretty old standard.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, you got to use ARC and all the other HDMI pass through to get it. And I was like, oh man, am I missing out? I don't know.
Which sucks because then you have to give up an HDMI port on your TV.
No way. There's not that many anymore.
I know. Nope. There sure aren't.
They become like PCI slots. Those things are valuable.
Yep.
All right. We've got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to say I'll maybe talk about this next week or in the coming weeks. I did buy a replacement drive for my Xbox, and I looked up to see if I could fix that red ring. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any videos on that stuff because I sometimes don't like recording myself doing those things.
When you brought this up beforehand, I started to suggest you try to resolder that Xbox 360 GPU on a stream.
I think it's just reflowing. So I think you just heat it up and then but the thing is, my segue here is I will talk about that on a Ramblecast probably.
Fair.
And that Ramblecast can be found at patreon.com/Nextlander.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Doing that stuff live seems completely insane to me.
I just don't do it that often, and setting up a whole camera rig and doing it over the, recording it all and with one hand and also reflowing that thing sounds like I want to really be paying attention when I do it.
And also, like, that stuff's hard enough without having to worry about people watching you do it.
I don't mind that as much. If somebody were to film me doing it, maybe, but I probably wouldn't go reading the chat or anything. Be like, stop, don't do it. But I will definitely talk about it, and you can probably hear it on patreon.com/Nextlander on the Ramblecast. It's a pretty involved process for the original Xbox drive, so we'll see how that all goes. We've got the Watchcast up there now for our Coen Brothers comedies. That is ending, and we are transitioning into, Alex?
Documentaries.
It's another documentary set, kicking it off with one that I've wanted to see for a while. Hometown gem of amusement park, action parks, Class
Action Park is the name of the movie.
The documentary about the yes.
You went to Action Park.
I did
at some
go
point.
to Action Park.
Okay, so this is going to be a big thing we're going to talk about.
I did. My memory's terrible. My brother definitely did, because he came back with like burns from the luge, skin burn.
Oh, they cover it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All is covered in that documentary from what I can tell.
So yeah, we've got that coming up first, and then why don't you walk us through the other, because there's only going to be 2 other ones for this.
Yeah, because we're just filling out the rest of May. So you picked that one. I picked Harlan County, USA, the 1970s documentary about the coal miners' strike in Harlan County. A great document of wild shit happening in America. Well-made film. And then, Brad, you have chosen the 2019 recovered footage documentary, Apollo 11.
Yep.
And if you're going to watch that, hey, Brad, why don't you let the people know if they want to watch that, just a small taste of their color grading. That they could,
the 4K version has a little bit of a weird HDR color grade to it.
Fresh off of talking about alternative lossless audio codecs, let's get deep into the world of people debating which home video release has a superior color grade. A lot of opinions about a lot of media out there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, all those opinions might be explored and then some on the Watchcast, and you could check that out over at patreon.com/Nextlander, where you can also find the Planorama, where we go over the month's releases that we have selected, where you can find the Ramblecast, like we said, Never Been a Better Podcast, is up there. That has folks like Austin Walker, Dan Reichert, Abby Russell, Jeff Bakalar swinging through, joining us there. Tons of things over on the Patreon. You can go support us and our people, and the people we like to work with as well. At the same time, that's a 2-for-1 deal at patreon.com/Nextlander. There are a bunch of tiers there, but there is only one tier that gets their names read on this here show. That is the Mysterious Benefactors tier. Alex Navarro, do you mind reading those names for us this week?
I would be happy to. Our Mysterious Benefactors for this week are: The good vibes will continue until morale improves. We hope we get there. Alpha Rhythm, OpenAI Delenda Est, David L., Kelly F., Brian Lucier, Skywarp, Jason Grimm, John Hubbard, Thordreen C5C6 crew, Evan Cook, Jerry Lee, Deirdre's friend Chort in his new jorts, Pugtato, John Brooks, Bunny for Work, Jad Rita, Statics, Maybe Today's the Day It Happens, Brian Murphy, Randy Duax, Randy Alderson, Andrew Tiepkin, Alex Wu, It Me JP, Edward Chick, Steve Lynn, Matthew Herrig, David Campos, and Tyler Treese.
Those are our Mysterious Benefactors for this week. We want to give them a big thank you for supporting us and for continuing to support us. A lot of names on that list you may have heard for a good run there for a long time, some since the beginning, and we really do appreciate all that support. And anybody else who has gone over to patreon.com/Nextlander and given us their support. It is the number one way to support us, to keep us going, to keep us doing what we are doing. Again, your support matters. It is the best way to keep an independent voice who reads other people's news on the podcast. If you want
a voice you can trust reading that other people's news.
If you want to keep us going, look, we are been doing this for a long time. We want to do this for a bit longer here, and we need your support to do it. So thank you very much. If you want to get out there and keep us on the airwaves here, that's the best way to do it.
Yes, and shout out to our friends at Video Games Chronicle and This Week in Video Games.
That's right.
Both instrumental in keeping us up to date on the latest news. Go support them as well.
Look, the thing that we have going for us is that we at least have some perspective, right? And whether that perspective is good or bad, it is a perspective. And if you've stuck around long enough, you probably are familiar with our tastes and our perspectives, and you can't fake that.
No. And few people have stuck around as long as we have.
Yeah, for better or worse. So thank you guys
Still
for
here.
Saw
for supporting us.
Rebecca Valentine at Newly of Kotaku ran a story that was kind of a pretty interesting idea this week of going and looking at the domains for current big video game companies, like on the Wayback Machine, and basically seeing who had those domains before them.
Oh.
Or in some cases, it's like, what did EA or Epic Games site look like in 1996 or whatever.
Sure,
but in other cases, Elgato.com, for example, used to be a cigar store.
Sure. Okay.
Before Elgato came along.
Yeah.
But at the end of that piece, she was like, for shits and giggles, since we're doing this, let's go look at Kotaku from the same era. And had a screenshot of what Kotaku looked like in its launch year or whatever. And I was just sitting there going like, fuck, man, I remember when Kotaku felt like the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
Them in joystick and Destructoid.
I remember when the whole blog format came about, and I was like, who the fuck are these upstarts?
They're like insurrectionist sites.
Who are these people like sneaking into events and getting kicked out? And
that's right.
These rebels or whatever.
This gonzo games journalism.
Like now the original Kotaku layout is like an artifact to be excavated.
Well,
been around for a bit.
We have been around for a bit, and we appreciate you sticking with us for that journey, because I know some of you have also been around for a bit out there. So
happy to still have you with us.
Yeah, very happy. And thank you very much. That's going to do it for our show for this week. Go check out all the stuff we talked about. Like we said on Monday, we went in, Brad and I went in, and Will was not there. Will was not there for multiplayer Monday madness. But we jumped in and booted up a little Vanquish, and you can check out Brad playing that. Tuesday was Resident Evil. And then Friday, we're going to go party with pirates.
Yep. Pirate party.
Go check it out. It's time for a pirate party. But that's going to do it for this week, you guys. Thanks very much, Alex Navarro.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad Shoemaker.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more from the Nextlander podcast next week. See ya.